Physical Therapy Headquarters podcast. Today, we're talking about the most groundbreaking thing I think we've ever talked about on this podcast. It is a new era of AI in cash practices that we've been experimenting with for the last 6 months as we rebuild the tools, the curriculum, everything that we do inside of Clinical Marketer. And I'm not kidding when I say that there has been a massive paradigm shift in how powerful AI is for practices. So today we're going to talk about what we call the Gen 3 era of AI in cash physical therapy. We're going to talk all about what that is, how we're leveraging AI inside of Ben's practice and our clients' practices, where we see AI going, and show off some of the incredible tools that we've done that years before would have been considered some real sci-fi shit. It's crazy. The entire business, like the game of business, is changing forever, and I'm excited to break it all down with Ben here today. What up, Ben?
Hey, I'm excited for this one. I think it's really gonna. The good thing about when things like this happen, it can be really good or it can be really bad. Depends on what side you're on. If you embrace it, it's a great way to really separate yourself. Like I know the physical therapy clinic owners that are in their 40s and 50s and still doing paper documentation, they're going to get left in the dust, and it's a way for us to really separate ourselves. Yeah. But if you're not willing to adapt, AI can be very bad for you. So the gap is gonna get larger, in my opinion, on this. And so I'm excited to kind of talk about what we've been working on.
It's one of those things where everyone's a little bit afraid of it, but it's one of those things where it's like it's not going anywhere. Like they're not going to put in any sanctions to limit AI's use. It is inevitable that every single business is going to adopt this, and our world is going to change as a result of it. And you can hide from it, you can run from it, you can deny it, but it is going to happen regardless. Sounded like Thanos right there a little bit. But it's coming. It is inevitable. But if you're on top of it and you've been using it, I know about you and I, Ben, but for those of you listening, more than likely you've been playing with Chat GPT. Maybe you've tried Claude, you've tried Gemini, you're using all these different AI tools, and maybe your spouse has made jokes with you asking, when is this actually going to start saving you time? Because we've logged so much time trying to figure out what tools are actually useful, which ones are a waste of time. And so today we'll filter down like what are favorite AI tools, how we're using them, and what you should be thinking about. So first things first, let's talk about the Gen 3 of AI in cash physical therapy. So just so you understand like the different generations, like Gen 1 was pre-AI, when everything we did was 100% dependent on us and our time. We're writing the emails, we're writing the ads, we're managing the ads, we're learning how to optimize the ads, we're following up with all of the prospects, we're manually tracking all of our data in spreadsheets, and we're built on spreadsheet empires, unless you're a rookie and you're not tracking your data yet and you know who you are. So that's Gen 1. That's how everything used to be done. Over the last couple of years, we've gone into Gen 2, where we start using AI to do things for us inside of our practice. So like Ben, like how were you using AI in ProKinetics prior to Gen 3, which we'll describe and get into in a second?
Yeah, it's more so like, at the beginning, it's just like writing blogs, for us, crafting up emails that we weren't quite sure how, like difficult patient situations, and like, hey, what angle should we take at from like an emotional response? Like,
the angry email of like,
yeah. Here's what I want to say, put it in a way that will come across. So it's like things like that. It's more from a copy standpoint, like helping a little bit with like writing ads, our ads for us a little bit. Was some of the things we were using it like early on.
Right. And everyone's been there, whether it's writing social media posts, coming up with like a social media strategy, writing ads, coming up with different ways to communicate your value to patients, coming up with sales scripts. Everyone was using it basically as a sounding board for just brain dumping their thoughts and getting them organized. So that's Gen 2, where it helped us get things done faster and it told us what to do, but then we had to actually go and do it. And so it was basically a faster information loop for us to go and execute things, which was groundbreaking. Gen 3, completely different animal. Now it's AI that actually tells us what we should be doing and then goes and does it for us, which is astronomically different than Gen 2. And this is, I mean, it's going to change our entire world, but it's impacting practices in a really big way. And marketing, especially, is never, ever going to be the same, especially after I show you some of the things that we've already built and the results that it's producing 100% without any human interaction or touch points within our marketing. It's crazy. So let's chat about it. So Ben, you want to introduce, like, talk a little bit about Victor?
Yeah, let me tell you about my boy Victor. Victor is our AI that integrates into our Slack channel. It's connected to everything. It's connected to our Google Drive. It's connected to our CM Hub or Go Habel account. It's connected to Active Campaign. It's connected to PT Everywhere. It's connected to everything that we have a login for.
Yep.
And so it can assess everything within the ProKinetics data, any data that I want. So, for example, it's also connected to our phone software. So I can also see like our answer rate. What's our answer rate? What's our conversion rate? For people that struggle with collecting data, this makes collecting data very easy. Not only can it connect data, but it can also create spreadsheets for you. Like last night I had it, I set it up so it will pull data from PT Everywhere and it will analyze at the end of each month what our recurring revenue is. How many patients do we have on continuity? What was our total number of visits last month? Takes that number, divides it to get that percentage, and then it breaks it down, not by just the clinic, but it breaks it down by each PT. So I can understand like, hey, which PT really excels with this and could be helping other PTs that aren't doing as well, coaching them up and leveling them up as well. We also have it where it analyzes the sales calls with my sales team for inbound calls, leads that are submitting through our website, Facebook leads. And I've given it a prompt on how to analyze these calls based on our trainings that we have within ProKinetics of what makes a good phone call a good phone call. And then it gives a score to a rep in Slack after each call, giving them feedback. And then I have a one-on-one meeting with the sales team each Tuesday. And so I can go in and I can tell Victor, hey, I want you to analyze all the calls between now and last week since our last sales meeting, identify the top 3 things that are contributing to a low score, so I know what topics to coach on. That would be the lowest hanging fruit. Spits out a report for me. I go into that meeting. We discuss that. We do role playing. We and assess that and see like, hey, what's the bottleneck for being able to do these things, and then we fix them. Right. So it's like just some of the very beginning stuff that just like scratching the surface of what we're doing within ProKinetics on how we're doing it. But yeah, essentially Victor integrates with everything, and he can pull. I can ask it questions like, hey, what was our cancellation rate last week? Like, hey, cancellation rate was X, right? So you can get data really quickly, especially if like you don't know how to run reports, you don't have time to feel like you don't have time to run reports. You can just tell Victor to do it, and it'll create spreadsheets for you.
Right. So Victor is literally an employee for your business that lives inside of Slack, which is a communication channel. And you talk to it just like a human being. It's connected to all of your systems. It knows your SOPs. It knows how you're using every tool that you're using. It can pull every single transcript, but then it can actually do things for you within those platforms. For instance, if you're using Go High Level or any email builder, automator, whatever it is, it can integrate in with that, analyze all of your systems and tell you how you can make these better and more efficient. And then it can actually build them and implement those changes for you. It can build and rebuild entire pipelines and email campaigns all for you. But because it understands your business, who you are, all of your SOPs and how you do stuff, it literally operates like someone you brought in and trained on your entire business. It knows your business better than most of the people on your team do. And if you're solo, this is like having the co-founder that you always wish you had, but it's pennies on the dollar. It's insane. To give you an example of some of the things that we've built, Ben mentioned his call auditor. So for every single one of our clients, one of the things that we know that they struggle with is discovery calls. And before, we'd give you a curriculum that trains you on the script, how to do it, and then there'd be weekly calls for you to go and get your calls audited, and people could listen to our recording and do that whole thing. But instead, let me share my screen here. Now what we can do is, yeah, this is where I want to go. So now we have this tool that every single one of our clients, as soon as they get onboarded, gets brought into. We connect it to whatever service they're using to do their discovery calls. And then they can select which of our top performing sales scripts from different styles of practices and different styles of sales they want to use as their scorecard and their sales flow. But then once that's done, now every single call that they get gets graded against that scorecard and breaks down the entire call on what it is that you should be doing better, how to improve, and actually gives you coaching in real time on every single discovery call that you actually conduct, allowing us to not only accelerate our feedback loop and get better way faster, but now you don't even have to wait a week or whatever to get on a call and get support from a coach. Now we have this like incredibly fast feedback loop that we can use for ourselves as well as for managing and training our own teams.
And this is usually the biggest bottleneck for people in getting success with their cash-based practice and getting off the ground is the lack of the ability to sell on the phone and get people in the door. And so like, this is worth hundreds, like makes me like wonder how much revenue we've lost over the last like 7 or 8 years from not being able to, from not having AI in this sense. Like I guarantee if we would have had this from like year one, it probably would have led to close to over $1 million. We've generated $10 million in the last 7 years. I bet this would have increased our sales by 10% for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's $1 million that if we would have had this, it would have saved us just this one tool, right? Not more, you know? So yeah, I would kind of almost wish that born like 7 years later, just happening at the beginning of when I started the practice. But yeah, it's such a valuable tool for people.
And what makes this Gen 3? Like you could run your transcripts and things through Claude or through Chat GPT before and get a report, something like this. What makes this completely different is now not only do we have the AI interface to pull and collect all of our data and connect all of our systems, but now we can talk to it like a person. So when we get this report, we can go into our like chat AI tool that has hundreds and hundreds of hours of all of our training over the last 6 years in its brain. And you can ask it questions about your calls as if it were your coach and get real-time feedback on how to change your stuff. So it's not just giving you information. You can now talk to your information and it can give you feedback based off of the knowledge base that Ben and I have built over the 6 years that we've been doing training and sales coaching for cash physical therapists. So this is the simplest thing that we've built so far, but the impact that it's having on practices already is insane. Right now we're running a competition with all of our mastermind members because we just rolled out the newest version of this with our clients, and we're doing an in-house competition of whoever gets the highest growth rate in their discovery call close rate and whoever gets the best close rate. And we have like these epic prizes and stuff we're giving away for it. But now we have, you know, almost 100 people using this thing every single day, and their minds are absolutely blown in the capability when you have this level of feedback coming back to you, and you have an AI with me and Ben's brains in it that you can actually talk to when you have questions about it and how to fix stuff. It's crazy. So this is the least crazy thing that AI has allowed us to do: audit every single discovery call. Ben, tell us about the experience like you've had, because you're the first person that, you know, this tool has been used with. How has your team responded? Like, what's the results you're seeing when you have this AI plugged into your practice?
Yeah, no, they love it. It's been, especially for like onboarding. The thing is, we actually implemented this about a month after we brought on our second sales rep. And her ability to catch on to things was so much faster, because up until then, our process was we meet one-on-one, or sorry, we meet as a team and we also meet one-on-one. So it'd be 2 calls a week that I'd have with her. You know, to go through a sales call, it takes a good 30 minutes. You know, calls are usually about 15, 20 minutes, but you know, you want to go through that call. There's so many stops. You're like, hey, want to point this out. It takes a half hour, sometimes 45 minutes to just go through one call and give feedback. This is happening instantaneously now in feedback form to their Slack channel immediately after the call. You don't have to wait a week she doesn't have to wait a week to get feedback from me, right? Her
Right.
ability to like learn is so much more quick. It's also been fun as well. Like the team is having fun with it. Like when they get a high score on it, like I'm printing this out, I'm giving it to my mom so she can put it on her fridge, stuff like that. So the team's having a lot of fun with it, and it also just holds. There's a sense of accountability because I make sure that this goes out in our
They know.
our group sales channel. It doesn't just go to them. It goes to everybody. There's 6 people in that channel. It goes to the 2 clinic directors, and it goes to the 3 myself, and then also the 3 sales reps that are doing the calls. So there's 6 people in that channel. They're all seeing your score, and so you also want to make sure that there's an accountability piece just from the social pressure a little bit with that, and then also just give me concrete data when I'm giving feedback or performance reviews. This is just concrete data. This is how you stack up with everybody else with regards to scores on this section, this section, this section. You're above average on this section. Don't focus too much more on that. You're doing great there. This is where you're below average. Focus on that. So it allows me to also coach. They can see that the coach I'm giving is not emotional. It's all just data. You can't argue with data on it. And so it does make my ability to give feedback and coaching much easier as well.
100%. And speaking of data, this is the number one most important thing that every practice needs. You need to make sure that you know how many, like all of your data, know where you're going, where you are, and what it is you need to change next. And most people aren't tracking their data because it's such a pain in the ass. For what you've had to do for the last several years is meticulously track all of your data in a spreadsheet, because your EHR's data is a little skewed or doesn't track everything that you want. Your CRM or Go High Level track stuff that's different. And you have to basically sit down for an hour or two every week or month and basically accumulate all this data into a spreadsheet, and then also know how to read and interpret that spreadsheet so you know what it is that you actually need to work on. There's a step in the right direction when Looker Studio was created, Google's tool, where we could build dashboards that basically are populated based on your spreadsheet. But again, you still have to rely on keeping the spreadsheet up to date for that dashboard to be useful. And we built that for a lot of our clients, but whenever they would change something in the formatting of their spreadsheet, their dashboard would break. And so it was this big pain in the ass. People broke them all the time. They still didn't really know how to interpret what was going on. And they still took them hours every single month to try to find and understand where their numbers are to plug them into the spreadsheet. No practice owner is going to have to do that ever again. If you're working with someone that knows how to install this stuff for you, or you wait long enough until you just figure out how to do it on your own. And so we started building fully automated dashboards that integrate with your EHR and integrate with your CRM if you're using High Level. So you don't have to track anything. It is all 100% automated data, clean, accurate, sexy, and it tells you what it is that is the biggest constraint in your business. So essentially what we built is this integration where it pulls in all of your real data. It calculates the most important metrics that we actually need to know. And then it identifies what is the biggest constraint in your practice, and then actually tells you what it is that you should be focused on and what you need to work on next, so that you always know what's going on, what you need to do, and where the hell you're going inside of your practice. I mean, you can't overhype the power of this. I mean, numbers and data, most of you hate math. I know that for a fact because I speak to hundreds of you. But the power of having a dashboard like this gives you so much peace of mind every day, and it eliminates you working on all this crap that just keeps you busy but doesn't actually move your business forward. Like, how I would have killed to have something like this 10 years ago when I got started.
Yeah, same here. I talked about the scorecard, and how much that would make a difference, let alone if I had the data to be able to make decisions like this with this dashboard. You should also tell them about, I don't know if you're done with this part here, but I want to make sure, don't forget to tell them about Emily's website.
Oh, no, I'll definitely hit on it. How are we doing on time? Okay. Yeah. So I'm getting to the marketing piece because that's what's going to blow everyone's mind. Fully automated marketing. It's nuts. So basically in here, we know everything that's going on in our practice. And then most importantly, we have our AI agent that we call Chat DPT that we've designed that has, again, me and Ben's brains in it because it has hundreds and hundreds of hours of our content in there. that lays on top of all of these AI tools. So not only do you have your numbers, but you can actually talk to it as if it was your chief operations officer in your practice, and it can help you interpret what's going on and what you need to do and custom fit it to all of your stuff. It's sci-fi as fuck for sure. But what takes this even further is now what we can use AI for inside of our marketing. For example, we set this up so that we're able to track ads on a level that previously you had to spend thousands of dollars a month to get access to this data. There's a company called Hyros that's famous in coaching. Like, Ben, you use it. Explain Hyros.
Yeah, so Hyros essentially it also integrates with Meta ads, Facebook ads, Google ads. It's connected to our phone software. It's similar to Victor, but it's different. It's got less capabilities, but it's just essentially it tracks where your revenue is coming from and where your leads are coming from as well. It really essentially tracks the entire leads, like the entire journey of a lead, entire journey of a patient. So like, for example, I can see somebody that they clicked on our Facebook ad, but they didn't opt in, but they went in and searched us on Google. They clicked on our Google My Business page. From there, they went to our website. From there, they opted into a request appointment form. From there, they went to our thank you page. They didn't book a discovery call then, but they received our automated text. They had clicked on that automated text to book a call. They did a call with Dr. John. Dr. John scheduled them for an appointment with so-and-so on X day, X time, right? So it just maps out their entire journey. I can see where that lead first came from. So we can determine, hey, where do we need to reinvest revenue and where do we put like our focus for lead generation as well. So that's kind of Hyros in a nutshell.
Right. It tracks your data attribution. Like, where does every single lead come from and what is the exact path that they took to become a client? Now, if you've ran Meta ads, the data they give you is pretty minimal. It can tell you like what leads kind of got, like what ads generated what number of leads, but you don't know who those people are and what happens after the fact. What Clinical Marketer AI allows us to do is to track every single lead that comes through and what ads specifically they came through on what platform. So we can see the breakdown of how ads are performing for Instagram versus Meta ads, how many people came in, how many people were won, total spent on those campaigns, how much revenue and what ROAS was generated through this. And so, for example, like previously, this is one ad from one of our clients that they turned off because their cost per lead was over $200, which is like an astronomical number compared to what they were used to. But since we installed this tool, we found that it actually generated a 21x return on ad spend, because although this lead was more expensive, it got a way higher quality lead that paid almost $5,000. And so because we didn't have this data yet, we would have known it's like, holy shit, we should keep this ad on, because although it's getting a much higher cost per lead, it's generating a way higher quality lead and getting a 21x ROAS, which is absolutely insane. And so this data is able to tell us way more effectively how profitable each of our campaigns are, rather than going off of just these kind of like objective targets. We can actually see the entire journey that every single lead has gone on and what's actually producing the greatest return on our investment. So Hyros was the only company that did this for the last several years, and now and it was too expensive for like small local businesses to be able to afford that level of data integration. And now, thanks to Clinical Marketer AI and what we've been able to build with this Gen 3 model, everybody can do it. Every single one of our clients gets this dashboard built out for them, so we can manage and optimize their ads to a level of performance that until now was pretty much impossible for a local business, unless they were of the size of Ben that can afford to pay, $1,000, $2,000 plus just for a data tool.
Yeah, it should be charging for it, but
nutty. And now, okay, so here's the next one that's nuts. So a little bit of backstory is our clinical marketer website wasn't doing that great for SEO. We didn't have time to do SEO. We're doing YouTube videos, and we used to have someone like a VA that would turn those videos into blogs, and it was just a big chunky process that wasn't really working that well. And so we got sick of all of that, and instead we rebuilt our website using AI. We had to do all this SEO keyword research based off of our audience and our messaging, and basically rebuild us an entire website. And then we completely automated all of the SEO. You heard me right. Like, automated all of our SEO and GEO. So people are finding us on search engines as well as AI tools, as well as on social media. It handles every element of our SEO, 100% fully automated, and it more than quadrupled our website traffic in 2 months. We then took this same principle that's like, holy crap, this works so well for clinical marketer. Let's apply this to some of our clients' websites. And we ended up building out this website for one of our clients who only got, like 10 leads or so a month from her website. And since installing this, and again, fully automating her SEO, she doesn't need an agency, doesn't need to do anything. We have, let's see if I can get this message real quick. There it is. Okay. So it's pretty early in the process, but she has seen significant improvement in her website traffic. What did she say? Pretty regular website. Tripled the website traffic in the first couple days that it was live, and got 3 leads from the website in the first 2 days that we launched it. And now this is a website that is self-optimizing. So based off the traffic, based off the leads that are converting, it can update and change not only the SEO as time goes on, but it also updates the copy itself of the website to maximize conversions. And instead of having to go into a website builder and make all of these edits, all she has to do is go into Slack, and she can talk to her website through our AI tool, and it makes the changes for her. And so she can talk to her website and make all the changes necessary. If she wants to add a new photo, if she hired a new team member, she literally just sends a Slack message like, hey, we just hired this person. Here's her photo, update the website. And it goes and does it for her. So not only is it fully automated web development, web management, but also all of our SEO is 100% automated, and it's completely free.
It's crazy.
Agencies are, I already dropped my one F-bomb quota of the podcast, but it is crazy. So agencies are screwed because not only can SEO be fully automated, but we are one hair away from fully automating Meta ads and all of our Google ads for all of our clients. Right now, just like the call audit tool, what we're doing is it sends a weekly or bi-weekly report on what's going on with their ads, which ones are performing the best, which ones we need to turn off, which ones we need to replicate. And then it tells you what we need to actually replicate within those ads. Like, what's the new ad that we should test based off of the words our prospects are using in our call transcripts, based on the ads that are performing the best right now, and based off the creatives that are performing the best right now. So it pulls not just data from your Meta ads, but it pulls data from your call transcripts, so we can reuse the words that our dream prospects are using on the phone and put that into our marketing to make our marketing perform 10 times better. I'm talking a lot. I got one more story on that, Ben, and then jump in.
It just goes to show, like, it's not just helping with like sales with that scorecard, but it's also helping your marketing so you get better quality leads for your practice as well. Right. And it's all just in real time, based on the transcripts too.
Right. So you basically have someone on your team that's an expert in all this stuff who can run it all for you. And so now, instead of needing to jump on a call with us to figure out what to do with your ads, now all you have to do is look at your report. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. One thing that we started doing in our funnels themselves is when someone opts into our ads and goes to a landing page where we have our booking link, gives them more information, and then they get on a call. That's basically the sales motion for Clinical Marketer. When we installed Clinical Marketer AI, what we were able to do is not only it telling us what to optimize next for our ads, but it also fully automated all of our landing page updates. And so based off of what ads and copy were generating the most leads, and what people, our best clients, were actually saying on the phones when we got them on the phone. It then uses that data and updates the messaging and the elements that are on the thank you pages to get more people booking. And so we don't even have to make changes to our own landing pages anymore. It is 100% fully automated, and it's based off of the actual words and data, or the actual words of our dream clients that they're using, and off of what ads are working the best today. So it's constantly telling us what to change, and it's coming up with new landing pages, new ad copy for us to test next. That's not just some random like ChatGPT, like what should I write my ads? No, it's pulled from our actual data and the actual words our clients are using. And it took our landing page booking rate from 6% to 20%, 100% by itself.
That's insane.
Like, if you guys, I mean, you don't do marketing, that's not your thing, but that is insane. And if you're a marketer listening to this, you're probably shitting your pants a little bit. And if you haven't already been, then you haven't been paying attention. But you're not going to need an agency. You're not going to need like someone to run your ads for you. Meta just acquired an AI company called Manus, and within the next 6 months, even ads are going to 100% manage them yourselves. Right now, Clinical Marketer AI tells you what to do and how to do it. But then in the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to have that nailed down too. And you're going to have Clinical Marketer AI be able to run your ads, your Google ads, reporting on all of your practice data and your call data, updating your landing pages, your email campaigns 100% by itself.
Yeah. Hard not to get left behind.
Folks, don't hide from AI. It is changing the world. And if you do not use these tools to automate your marketing, to automate your data, to automate what it is you're working on every single week, you are going to get steamrolled. Because even if you do hire an admin and other people to help you do these things, you're going to get trampled by the practices who are using AI, because their margin is going to be way higher than yours in their practice. And they're going to be able to afford to spend more on marketing than you can. And whoever can afford to pay the most in marketing is going to win 9 times out of 10.
Not only that, but it's speed to change too. You know, we've got AI updating it daily based on conversations and transcripts and how leads are interacting. You know, that's the thing too, is the market changes, people's buying behavior changes, what they value changes. And so when you can do that in real time, you know, it's a huge competitive ad as well.
Yeah. The world's changing. If you want to learn how to better use AI in your practice, or better yet, you want to work directly with us where we can install these tools for you to help you develop the systems, the skills, and the mindsets that are required to become a world-class practice owner, well, then go to clinicalmarketer.com and apply to work with us, see if you qualify. And then if so, fantastic. You'll have a 15-minute call with me where we can figure out what's going on in your practice and what a custom protocol would look like to scale your practice to whatever goal you have in your mind and heart that you want to achieve when it comes to building your cash practice. Any final words, Ben?
No, it's just an exciting time. You can be scared about it, or you can be excited about it. I choose to be very excited about it.
Hell yeah.
And it's already improving our margins substantially, just from, you know, not having to, it's much cheaper to have this. And it's not just cheaper. It's cheaper from cheaper from a labor cost, but actually where it's cheaper, more cost effective is actually in less errors. You know, like if I hired somebody else to do this, yeah, they could do it. One, they'd be more expensive. Two, there'd also be errors made.
Right.
With this, there's not errors being made. That is where we're making up most ground on our profit margins, is due to the less error, not actually the labor costs being saved too. So,
and folks, you can go and build these tools yourself. It is easy to build tools now. It's basically free. But there is some complexity to it. You do have to understand API servers and how to connect all these tools together. But even if you do build your own tool, it's not going to have Chat DPT, me and Ben's custom AI built on top of it, that has our 6 years of experience in scaling cash practices built into it, so that it can tell you not just what your data means, but exactly what it is that you really need to do in your practice that's been vetted and verified by hundreds of physical therapists already. So if you want to expedite the entire build out process while getting access to our proprietary knowledge base, well, then go to clinicalmarketer.com and apply to work with us. We'd love to help you scale to 10, 30, 50, 100, 200K months inside of your cash practice this year. Cool. Peace, everybody.
See you guys.